What up, everybody? My name is Alana Trepler, and this is the ATD Show. Today in the studio, I am joined with a very good friend of mine, Michael Patrick Burke, with the Live Bold concept. Michael is here to talk to us about his coaching and his speaking, and I am so glad that you're here. This is awesome. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Always good to be here.
Yeah. Well, we did a shoot with you a couple years ago.
That's right.
Talking about your Live Bold idea. So tell me a little bit about it.
So Live Bold is kind of a way of life.
Yeah.
A lot of folks might think, well, to be bold is a trait, like to move boldly through life, not timidly.
Right.
But really, live bold is a way of life. And I know technically, grammatically, it should be live boldly.
Right.
But that would say that it's a trait to possess.
Okay.
So live bold means it's a way to be.
Right. So would you call it a Live Bold movement?
I would call it a Live Bold experience.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You come up with the greatest stuff. That's wonderful. Okay, so what does it mean to live bold?
Well, it means to take full advantage of your gift of time. Like really live the life that is outrageously good. Like audaciously good.
Fantastic.
You know, because we sometimes kind of get along in life. We're just kind of getting along.
Yeah.
But there comes a time when you question that. Like, have I been getting along? And it's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
So I really encourage folks to live their wildest good life.
Right.
Uncommonly good life.
Awesome. How did you come up with this concept?
Well, it's a little unique. So I was born with a chronic illness.
Right.
And at the time, it was the number one genetic killer of children. So my life expectancy was 5 years old when I was diagnosed as a 1-year-old. And now at almost 50, we've obviously defied the odds for a long time. But for the longest time, through my formative years, the life expectancy was increasing, but it was never more than a couple years.
At a time.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when I was 11, it was 13. When I was 13, it was 15, and on and on.
Right.
And that was a very unique experience to see life that way.
Yeah.
And it was hard at times, like I didn't understand how long I might live. And then on my 30th birthday, I actually surpassed that number.
Nice.
So my life expectancy was 28, I'm 30, and the light bulbs went off. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm going to quit thinking about it, and I'm going to quit waiting for the worst things to happen, and I'm going to live my life as full as I can, the way I want to live it.
Right.
And everything changed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're helping other people live that way.
Yeah, it's such a unique view of life. So only 70,000 people in the world have cystic fibrosis, which is the disease I have.
Right.
Only half of those are adults. So we're now finally getting into adulthood. It was once a childhood disease. Now we're all living longer, which is exciting. Yeah. But it's a really unique perspective to live your life like that. So with such a short expectation. And it compelled me to do crazy, wild things. Not dangerous things.
Right.
But audacious.
Yeah.
And I would love for people to get that sense of possibility for their own life.
Right. So you're taking the experience that you had with doing all these crazy things with such a short life expectancy, and instead of focusing on your illness and dwelling in that, you're going past what expectations that anybody ever had for you, and you're running. You used to run marathons, and you got into biking. Now you're riding your bicycle a bazillion miles a year. But your goal this year is 3,000 miles.
3,000, yeah.
And you're almost there already, right?
Well, I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm on target.
Yeah, there you go. So it's so great to see you taking your own life experience and sharing it with other people to help them get through whatever it is that they might be going through. So you are a coach. Mm-hmm. Will you tell me a little bit about your coaching program? How does that work?
Yeah, so coaching is really supporting others in the pursuit of their life,
Right.
like their best life.
Okay.
And it's a big field and pretty misunderstood. Some people may be aware of executive coaching. Some people might be aware of life coaching. I more prefer the term performance or personal coaching.
Okay.
Whatever we call it, what we do is we get a lot of clarity on what you want out of life, and not just a good life, an uncommonly good life.
Wow.
Right? Like we stretch into what is the ideal life I want to pursue. And then we get clarity on that, and we find out our individual strengths and motivations and encouragements. Because if you're going to pursue something uncommonly good,
Right.
you got to tap into that. And then we also eliminate the detractors from that life,
Right.
and replace the detractors with a bold approach.
Awesome.
So it's life multiplied by bold.
You know, you and I have worked together on a few things over the past few years, and we've known each other for a very long time. But I've been tapping into your brain to help me get through some things with business and whatnot. And I love the changes that you've made in me in just such a short time. So I'm really thankful for that, and I appreciate your help with all of those things. So tell me about the people that you like to work with. Who are your specific coaching clients, or the people that you want to help live bold the most?
Yeah. So like everyone, I want to help everyone, right?
Right.
So I don't close the doors to anyone who learns about Michael Burke.
Sure.
But there are some groups that are special to me. And those are entrepreneurs, because I'm an entrepreneur, and it's not an easy life,
No.
but it's so worth pursuing.
Yeah.
I really enjoy working with leadership level employees. I was in executive leadership back in another lifetime, and it was stressful. You know, managing people and managing millions of dollars of revenue, it was hard for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know my own strengths, and I didn't know what encouraged and motivated me, so it was hard. Like I kind of was out there on my own.
Yeah.
And then my heart of hearts, my subspecialty, if you will, is to help people, families, whether they're kids or adults, who are dealing with a really serious health issue. Because I take 13,000 pills a year. I have to do 500 hours of therapy every year. I got to go to the doctor all the time. Sometimes there's hospital stays, and that can very quickly derail you from your aspirations.
Sure.
It become very frustrating, right? And it's just not when you're sick, it's even worse because you don't feel good.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
right?
course.
Right? So you're not just not motivated. It's hard to work when you're not feeling well. And we often lose sight of that uncommonly good life.
Yeah.
And I help people find that again or maintain it and not lose the treasured parts of their life.
Right.
Right, like family and faith and whatever is important to them.
Yeah. It's easy to lose that for sure.
Very quickly. Focus on work, focus on family, focus on bigger things than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, so tell me about being chronically motivated. What is that?
So, chronically motivated is this idea. Well, first of all, we have to understand what chronic means.
Okay.
Normally, we would think that it's a negative thing. Anything chronic, other than, Snoop Dogg's idea of chronic, right, is typically a bad thing.
Okay. All right.
So, all chronic means is persistent and hard to get rid of.
Okay.
So, a chronic illness is persistent and it's hard to get rid of.
Right.
Chronic motivation is persistent and hard to get rid of motivation.
Wow.
So in the book Grit by Dr. Duckworth, she has a great quote and says, "Excitement is common, endurance is rare."
Oh,
So we can very easily get excited by a motivational speaker. I'm a motivational speaker, so it's cool to get the crowd fired up. But what happens long term when the motivational speaker's not there, when life hits, when the boss hits, when things don't go as we would like them to go.
Yeah.
We need lasting motivation.
Nice.
And through coaching, that's the back end, the lasting part of it. Because life comes. And life can be unexpected and tough at times. And it challenges our excitement.
Right.
So the coaching was a way to keep the endurance part of the motivation going.
All right. Tell me about your book. You wrote a book. And so tell me about it. How did you do that?
Yeah. When I started running, which is really unexpected for my body. Like I have major handicaps when it comes to exercise. But exercise is good therapy at the same time.
Yeah.
So I didn't like to run, but it was good for me. So I said, well, if I'm going to run, I got to do it. I just got to keep it interesting and challenging.
Yeah.
So I started running marathons
Yeah.
with this disease that just
You're not
I shouldn't be functioning, much less try and run an endurance race.
Yeah.
So I had done multiple marathons and 20 half marathons, and I was the youngest director of sales for Omni Hotels, and people thought it was very interesting and that I should tell this story to others who have my disease. And I just wasn't sure I wanted to share all that. It was still pretty private at the time.
Yeah.
But a dear friend of mine died of CF. She was 23. I was, I think, 40-something at the time. And I saw her making all the mistakes I made as a kid. And I survived them. And she didn't. And I thought, I'm tired of seeing our kiddos do that.
Yeah.
And so within 3 months, I wrote the book.
Wow.
It was published and released. And so it's just a story of living with ongoing challenges. What I learned is the book goes well beyond the disease and well beyond running.
Yeah.
Running was just my tool to conquer my challenges. And it just happens to be the hardest thing I could do to conquer those challenges. And that seems to be the way life goes. There's not a lot of easy solutions.
Right.
It's mostly the hard solution is the best solution.
Yeah.
So how do we stick to that hard thing?
Yeah.
And can then that hard thing become the best thing, a blessing, and the thing we want to do?
Wow.
And that was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share then those hard-fought lessons. Going at it alone, figuring it all out on my own over decades
Right.
was dumb. I had many resources, people that cared and loved me and were wise, but I just wouldn't let them in.
Yeah. Well, because you know better.
Oh, yeah. How do you know what it's like to have cystic fibrosis? You don't know me.
Stubborn.
Yeah. We kind of all want to do it ourselves.
Well, I'm. It's so neat to see that you take this experience and take your chronic illness and turn it into chronic motivation, and to share that and use what you have inside to help other people who are going through something similar, help entrepreneurs because they struggle. They might not have a chronic illness, but being a business owner is tough.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Challenges never stop, right?
No, it's easy just to throw up your hands and say, forget it, I'm going to go do the 9 to 5.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to stick
Yeah.
with it and carry it through and follow through. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is great. And so if people wanted to get your book to learn more about waiting to die, running to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
that. They could go to Amazon.
Yes.
So that's on the Amazon. Go on there, get the book, become chronically motivated.
Yeah.
And then to learn about your speaking engagements, it's michaelpatrickburke.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also learn about the Live Bold experience
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Right? Sign
Yeah.
up for coaching, your contact information, everything is there.
Yeah.
You're also on the Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, good. We'll be sharing that. And, you have some videos, too, that we actually worked with you on.
Yeah. So, Facebook. My wife was like, "Why are you always on there?" Well, folks need some encouragement, and so I created a separate page of Live Bold with Michael Burke.
Oh, awesome.
And we talk about some of these coaching concepts and this high idea of life. So we'll share that, and then the videos do the same thing on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
was wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was great to have you back in the studio. I always love your energy, and I'm going to absorb that, and I'm going to take it with me for the rest of the week now. So thank you for being on the show, and we'll hope to have you back again another time.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you again.
My name is Alana Trepler with Above the Dogs Multimedia in the studio with Michael Patrick Burke. Ta-ta for now, everybody.